Yo, what's going on, guys? Today I'm going to be going over the NBA slate on DraftKings for Wednesday, November the 7th. We do have a big 10-game slate today for this Wednesday, so I don't want to waste time. Let's go ahead and look at point guard. Just make sure you guys drop a like, I'd appreciate it, and subscribe if you haven't already. But let's look at point guard today. So up top we got Westbrook, who's going to be out, so Ben Simmons, our most expensive point guard, and I don't see myself playing a ton of Ben Simmons here. I probably will have a little bit of exposure, but I do feel like there are stronger plays, just a tad bit cheaper. So really like Kyle Lowry for cheaper if Kawhi is out today. Kawhi missed on Monday. He is questionable for today. If he is out again, Kyle Lowry at 8,900. Do not mind paying that price tag at all. Definitely a spot where I want to play Lowry if Kawhi's out. Then Drew Holiday and Zach LaVine are like the other two expensive guys I like. So Drew Holiday been on a lot lately. His price tag's starting to really creep up. At 8,600, I don't see a ton of people going to Drew Holiday. But with Elfrid Payton more on the doubtful side for this game and most likely going to not play again, we're going to see Drew with the ball in his hands a ton if Payton is indeed out again. Just really like him here against a Bulls team that does play fast and doesn't play a ton of defense. Good spot for Drew Holiday. On the other side, Zach LaVine just having to chuck up a ton of shots. With Chris Dunn out, it's been doing really well. Having to chuck up a ton of shots, going to have the ball in his hands a ton. He's also gotten priced up to 8,500, so I don't see a ton of people going to Zach LaVine here. Really like him and Holiday and Kyle Lowry as well if Kawhi misses. Trae Young at 7,600, definitely like this spot for Trae Young. If Taurean Prince is out again, really want to go to Trae Young today. If Prince plays, I'll probably be avoiding Trae Young or won't have a ton of exposure, but definitely see myself getting about 20-25% Trae Young if Taurean Prince misses again. Young just sees so much of a usage spike with Taurean Prince out, just going to have the ball in his hands a ton. Just has to do a lot more. I like him at 7,600. And then the mid-range, love Dennis Schroeder here. So I mentioned at the beginning, we already know Russell Westbrook not going to play today. So Dennis Schroeder going to pick up a ton of usage, going to have the ball in his hands a lot. Will be starting for Westbrook, and is just going to have to play big minutes. Him and Paul George are going to have to carry this Oklahoma City team. If they want to win this game against Cleveland, they probably should be able to win it even without Westbrook. But it's going to be Schroeder and PG doing the heavy lifting for the Thunder here. And I really like Dennis Schroeder at 6,900 with him getting a price increase, with DraftKings appropriately pricing him up. I don't see him being major chalk today. I think he's probably going to be around 20% owned. If he was like 5,500, Schroeder would probably be like 60% owned. So at 6,900, don't see a ton of people going to Schroeder here, but I still think he's got 45, possibly even 50-point upside in this matchup against Cleveland, and I have a ton of interest in him at 6,900. Then maybe going down to the 5K range, really like this spot for Derrick Rose against the Lakers. We already know that Jeff Teague not going to play today for the Timberwolves against the Lakers, and Jimmy Butler is also questionable. We're not sure if Jimmy Butler is going to play like consecutive games in a row or if he's going to rest. So if Butler misses, just even a better spot for Derrick Rose. He probably becomes a lock if Jimmy Butler's out. Just going to have the ball in his hands a ton, picks up a lot of usage with Butler off the court. Even with Teague out, we're still going to see Rose have the ball in his hands a lot. Teague was out last game against the Clippers, and D. Rose did start for him and play 35 minutes and put up 30 DraftKings points. Solid game from D. Rose. We could easily get a similar performance, if not a better performance, in this matchup against the Lakers. So I really like Derrick Rose. 5,600 if I'm going to that 5K range at point guard. I think Lonzo or Rondo you could also go to. Choosing which one's going to have the big game is obviously a little tough. Lately, Rondo's been playing really well, but Lonzo still is the starter for the Lakers, so I'd probably lean Lonzo 5,200, but you could definitely go to those guys in tournaments because we know they have big upside, especially at those price points. And then point guard value. So there isn't a ton that I love on this slate, at least as of now, that I see that I feel like is like a must-play if we're talking about point guard value. Maybe like Cameron Payne at 4K, just because he's going to have to play a lot of minutes against the Pelicans, a team that really isn't good defensively, the two teams that play fast. I could see wanting to go to Cameron Payne here at 4K. I had some exposure to him last game. I can't even remember if he did that well. I'm pretty sure he did play solid minutes, but I don't think he was very effective with those minutes. Played 41 minutes against the Knicks, only 16 DK points. So the minutes were definitely there. That game did go to overtime. So at the end of regulation, he probably had like 35, 36 minutes played. I could see going to Cameron Payne at 4K as just a punt of this position. But let's move on to shooting guard. At this position, I think there's a really good value play we'll talk about in a second. Pretty cheap, almost near minimum price. If injuries break our way, he could definitely be one of the better values. But up top, I really like the guys I've kind of already talked about, like Drew Holiday, Zach LaVine, really like as well. In the mid-range, if we want to go here, really isn't a ton I see, or like core plays for me in this mid-range. Guys I feel like I'm going to be really heavy on. Shooting guard in general just feels like a position where there aren't a ton of plays. I just feel like I have to have. Like for value, maybe like Damian Dotson, 5,300. Tyus Jones probably going to get some good run off the bench with Jeff Teague out, but I definitely would rather play Derrick Rose for a little bit more. But you could go to Tyus Jones, like Wesley Matthews. Not a good matchup against the Jazz, but we know Wesley Matthews is going to continue to play big minutes. Justin Holiday going to be going up against his brother. We know Justin Holiday plays big minutes every night. How productive he is with those minutes is a concern, but 4,700, he's probably my preferred shooting guard value play if injuries don't break our way. But if injuries do break our way and Taurean Prince is out again today, then Kevin Huerter, I'm not even sure if that's how you say his name, but he is 3,400. He started for Taurean Prince on Tuesday when Prince was out. As I'm recording this video, that game's at about halftime. And Huerter has played 18 minutes in the first half and has just put up a really big game. I think he has like 18 or 19 DraftKings points in the first half. I'm not expecting another big performance from Kevin Huerter, but if he starts again for Prince at 3,400 and is going to play 30 minutes, just a really good value play. I'm expecting him to play plenty of minutes again if Prince is out. So I definitely like him at 3,400, just really too good of a value to pass up if Prince misses again. Prince didn't play Tuesday on a back-to-back. I'd say they probably don't play him again today. So that's like where I'm going at shooting guard. Mostly Huerter if Prince is out, some Justin Holiday, maybe some Wes Matthews, maybe a little Tyus Jones. You can play D Rose at shooting guard. I feel like those are kind of the guys I'm going to be playing. If I can pay up those, Zach LaVine, Oladipo, or not Oladipo, Zach LaVine and Drew Holiday I like. Oladipo I might have some exposure to, but mostly Drew Holiday and Zach LaVine at the top. But let's move on to small forward. So I really like PG at this position at 9,100. We'll talk about LeBron though. LeBron's 11K. Facing the Timberwolves, you could go to LeBron here. I don't see myself being too heavy on LeBron. I just like a lot of the 7, 8, 9K range plays. PG's a 9K range play I really like at this position. Against Cleveland, we know Westbrook not going to play. PG also saw a bit of a price increase. Didn't see a big price increase like Schroeder did. Still relatively priced at 9,100. For him to return value on this price, you really only need about 46 DK points. We know with Westbrook out, PG's shown 55, 60 point upside. So I think he has a lot of upside in this matchup. Cleveland is not a good defensive team. This game is competitive. I think we've seen monster games out of PG and out of Schroeder. Don't mind playing them in the same lineup. Really like this spot for both of them. With them seeing price increases, I don't think they're going to be insanely popular today. But I still have a ton of interest in them, even with the price increase. But if you don't want to play PG at small forward, if you want to go to other plays, we can look in the mid-range maybe. Maybe like B-Elites at 6K. Not a play I love, but B-Elites have been playing really well lately, been seeing solid minutes. Jabari Parker, I feel like I'm going to have some exposure to. 5,800 against the Pelicans, fast-paced game. Parker's still relatively cheap for the minutes he's playing, even though he hasn't been insanely productive lately. I could definitely see going to Jabari Parker at 5,800 at this position. Looking for like cheaper plays, maybe like Harrison Barnes, 5,300, maybe Wes Matthews, 4,900. But those aren't guys I'm insanely in love with. Justin Holiday, I mentioned 4,700. I like him. If Prince misses again, you could go to DeAndre Bembry at 4,600, but Huerter might be the guy that I want to go to at 3,400. But 4.6 for Bembry, definitely in play as a value option. But that's probably it for small forward cheap plays that I see that I love. So let's move on to power forward. We do have Anthony Davis at the top of this position, and he has a great matchup here against the Bulls. Just a great spot for AD. Definitely my favorite stud. Talking about the 10K and above guys. If I can fit AD in, I see myself having plenty of exposure to him. But the problem's going to be trying to find the salary to fit him in and finding the value. But Huerter does open up a little bit. If Prince is out, 3,400. He opens up some salary to where you probably could fit in AD. I see myself probably having like 15-20% AD. Not going too crazy. If value opens up, I definitely will get more. But I see myself mostly going to like the 8K, 9K guys like PG, Schroeder, Drew Holiday, Zach LaVine. I see myself having like 30-40% exposure to those guys. But I'll still have some AD, not a ton of LeBron. The other power forward plays, if we're going cheaper, do like Aaron Gordon here at 7K. I was on Aaron Gordon a ton in that last game against Cleveland because he was like 6,500. Had a really decent game. Saw a bit of a price increase up to 7K, but that still might be a little bit too cheap for Aaron Gordon. I don't mind him here against Detroit if you want to go to him at 7K. Mentioned Jabari Parker at 5,800, who I think's in play if you want to play him at power forward. Noah Vonleh, 5,200. I was on him in his last game, had a solid game. He also saw a price increase, but still a good matchup here against the Hawks. I do like Noah Vonleh if you want to play him at power forward. And then for the 5K and below plays, the cheap value, maybe like a Taj Gibson at 4,500, especially for cash games. He seems just like a really good price play. Could easily get 5 to 6x. But we know Taj Gibson doesn't have like that 40-point upside that we really want to win tournaments. But for cash games, Taj Gibson feel like he makes a lot of sense at 4,500 against the Lakers. But I think that's it for power forward. Let's quickly go over center. So at the top of this position, you have Embiid, you have Blake Griffin, you have Drummond, who you could go to. Jokic is facing Memphis. But I love this spot for Karl Anthony Towns, especially if Jimmy Butler does not play today, which there is a chance he doesn't play. Probably going to be locking in Towns into a ton of lineups. I see myself going very heavy on Towns, definitely being over the field. Just such a good matchup against the Lakers. He dominated the last time these two teams played. He played 32 minutes, put up 64 DraftKings points, had 25, 16, and 6 with 4 blocks and a steal. Great game from Cat. I think we see another big game from him. I was really high on him in his last game against the Chargers. Against the Clippers, put up 52 DraftKings points in 36 minutes. I think we see another 50-plus point game from Karl Anthony Towns. If Jimmy Butler's out, I might honestly be going probably 60-70% Karl Anthony Towns. Doubt I'll lock him in on a 10-game slate, but across my 150, I'll have a ton of Towns if Jimmy Butler misses today. Even if Butler plays, still see myself being very heavy on Cat today against the Lakers. You could go to Drummond against the Magic. You could go to Jokic against the Grizzlies. I don't love that spot for Jokic. Drummond against the Magic would probably be the other guy I'd consider if you don't want to play Cat. But I think I would prefer Cat today over Drummond. And then Vooch is a little bit cheaper, but definitely would prefer Towns to Vooch. But if we want to go cheaper at center and look in the mid-range, so you got JaVale McGee in that same game at 6,600, who has seen a price increase. I don't think JaVale McGee is nearly as strong of a play as he has been lately. At 6,600, you're probably going to need at least 40 from him to be a good tournament play or a tournament winning play, and I don't know if he has that monster upside in this matchup. I think he did struggle a bit last game against Towns, or when the last time these two teams played. He played 31 minutes, so he got the minutes, but he only put up 27 DK points, 13 points, 5 rebounds, 3 blocks. Definitely a game where JaVale McGee should get back to normal. We're probably going to get about 30-35 from McGee. Honestly, don't know, though, if that's really enough at 6,600 to win a tournament, so I'll probably be shying away from him, at least just with the price increase. Wendell Carter at 6,200 has also seen a bit of a price increase, but he still might be a little bit too cheap at 6,200. Really only need about 35, 36 for him to be a good tournament play, and lately he's been getting pretty much right in that range. In two of his last 4 games has had monster games against Houston, 43 DraftKings points, against Denver, 55 DK points. Lately, he's given you about a 30-point floor, even though his minutes have been a little sporadic. 22 minutes against the Knicks, just 24 against the Pacers. He did foul out against the Knicks, so I'm guessing that's why he only played 22 minutes. But even in short amount of minutes, he's still giving you big games. Definitely like Wendell Carter here. I think I'd rather play McGee, but Wendell Carter, 6,200 is in play for me if I want to go to him. Noah Vonleh, you got a center who I do like today if you want to play him. Miles Turner seems way too cheap at 5K. In this matchup, though, against Embiid, probably going to shy away from Miles Turner, but he's definitely a cheap play I do like. We could probably go back to Bam again, 4,900. Bam Adebayo, if Whiteside misses, is a play that I don't mind. But I think that's it for centers, the ones that I really like today, and I think that's it for the video, guys. So hopefully you did enjoy this video, and hopefully it did help you. If you enjoyed, just make sure you click that like button. I'd really appreciate it. Make sure you subscribe as well if you haven't already. I do want to let you guys know my NFL video for Week 10 and Thursday Night Football Showdown video will be up tomorrow on Wednesday. Gonna make both of those videos tomorrow on Wednesday. So would appreciate it if you would check those out. Leave me any feedback on those vids. But thanks for watching, guys. Really appreciate it, and good luck tonight on this 10-game slate. Peace.